While countries navigate through COP politics, climate change will not wait for us to settle our squabbles. As we speak, the climate crisis is claiming more lives. Every corner of the globe has been affected. Let's look at what's happening one continent at a time, and we start with South America. Wildfires are burning through one nation after another. 7.5 million hectares of land have been scorched in Bolivia alone. The country has seen more than 12,700 fires this year, 12,700 this year. Wildfire smoke is choking its cities. And many have lost everything.
Everything was burnt. Crops, vegetation, cuttings, coffee plantations, citric plantations, banana plantations. In other words, it devastated everything. It didn't leave anything.
A lot of this damage is permanent. The forests may never heal.
And the reality we're living at the moment in Bolivia, that many of these forests won't restore at all, because we're living these effects of the climate change, of the environmental degradation we're causing in Bolivia itself.
It's the same story in neighboring Brazil. Fires have laid waste to the world's largest wetlands. The ecological gold mine is now a graveyard.
When we carried out an active search in the burned areas, we found what was a large corixo, which is a watercourse, and in that place we found hundreds of dead animals, mainly reptiles and amphibians.
In Europe, we're seeing the opposite. Snowstorms are wreaking havoc. War-torn Ukraine, in particular, is struggling to cope. The storms have cut electricity to thousands. Some have even died due to the bitter cold.
It is undoubtedly a catastrophe on a huge scale. Not only for the city, it's a statewide disaster. Some 150 up to 200,000 residents of this district have been left without heating.
I start crying when I think about the soldiers. It's hard to imagine what it feels like there.
And Russia is faring no better. Winter has arrived in Moscow. Storms are battering the annexed region of Crimea, and hundreds have been evacuated amid the freezing rain. Rain is also devastating Africa, the Horn of Africa region. This area is drought prone. It has been parched for years. Rains arrived here a few weeks ago, but instead of relief, they brought just misery. Kenya, Somalia, Ethiopia, all these countries are reeling now, and there's no end in sight.
Overall, we have now roughly 650,000 people displaced, and 1.4, 1.5 million, to be very honest, nobody really knows the concrete figures, are going to be affected. That is now, but we have currently a confluence still of the Indian Ocean dipole, of El Nino. We have a cyclone building up in the Indian Ocean.
He mentioned the El Nino. It's a natural weather phenomenon. It occurs once every few years, and it brings heat and rain to regions around the equator. But climate change has made the El Nino more powerful. It has been supercharged, and it is now unleashing its fury all over the world. Eastern Australia is among the regions bearing the brunt. It was scorched by bushfires a few weeks ago, and now parts of it are underwater. Everywhere you look, climate change is leaving an impact. The challenge before world leaders at the COP28 is staggering. They must work together to change course. If not, then what you just saw will only be the beginning.